And
All
Jeannie, I
right,
got a bunch of track questions for you.
all right, here we go.
Can't wait.
Setting up. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Racers News Network Live. I am, believe it or not, alive. I am Chris, for those of you that are new. My co-host is the other bald guy. Of course, I'm talking about NHRA Division One racer, Pete Sanka, and our two amazing guests for this evening. Young lady with the long black hair, and it looks like purple. Sure,
Purple
that
hoodie.
is. There you go. Um, Natalie Mussolino, Vince Mussolino's daughter, and the co-assistant of the Dusan 10K race, and of course, on the end, with the sign behind her, the always laughable, always affable Lebanon Valley staging boss, of course, GINI Richardson. So, uh, as most of you can tell, my voice is cooked. So, what I'm going to do is just kind of do my thing, and I'm going to let Pete take over because I can already feel that it's going to die. So, Pete, it's all yours, my friend.
How are you guys?
Good.
Welcome to RNN 2025. And by the sounds of Chris, it sounds like we have a Smokers Lounge as a sponsor.
I've only smoked 47 cartons today.
That's all. Piece of cake. So here we are. It's Chris. We were talking before we went on about how long we've been doing this, and I thought it was only 3 years. And I got corrected. He's saying it's like 5 or 6. I'm blown away
Yep.
by that. That seems like
You
a lot longer than I thought.
you forced me to do it.
Yeah,
And here we are.
here we are. So, first show of 2025. We got someone that's wicked fast, and someone that is wicked awesome. Obviously, Natalie, not that you're not wicked awesome, but uh,
Not that I'm not wicked fast.
is that true? Good point. Good point. I have a thing for women that when I round the corner in my race car and they blow me a kiss, I have to call them wicked awesome. It's just the way that it is. But we will start with you. For those that don't know, you drive Top Dragster. Uh, and through default, we figured out that it is your third season. Because I thought that this show was our third season, and we were all like, "Yeah, it was."
Couple, I
Um,
think it's my fifth season or my fourth season in Top Dragster.
okay,
Fifth season in the big car. Coming
excellent,
up on my fifth season in the big car. Fourth
well,
season in Top
good
Dragster.
stuff. So, tell us a little bit about your ride. Who makes it? What's it powered by? All that good stuff.
Oh man. So I have, well, now it's all changed. I'm in my dad's car now.
Okay.
So he's got a race tech. Believe it's a 17. I'm not all on this tech card ready stuff yet
Yep,
because we
yep.
just switched them. Race tech, APD, Scotty, my dad's best friend. He makes sure we're all good. My dad's obviously very on top of it.
Yep.
Couldn't be anywhere without those two for sure. Um, APD, design joint. Um,
Di
Thompson-
Bartholomew. Do I ever say that last name right?
what?
Christina Di Bartholomew.
DeBartolomeo.
Yeah, that it. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone knew what I was talking
So
about
good.
anyway.
Yep, Mickey Thompson. Missing a bunch, but all those people that help us out, we really appreciate it. Like I said, I have my dad's ride now, so the world champ car. So
Yep.
hopefully I can do something in that. But
So, what made you make the switch from last year's car to your dad's car?
so we had the shorty and we ended up selling it. Someone else wanted it.
Okay.
And my dad actually won a car in a raffle.
Oh, wow.
We had three cars. There's no point of us having three cars. There's only
Yep.
two of us that can race them right now, at least. So, but by default, I had the newer car. I got the shorty. So
Hmm.
it's his turn to get the new car. And he deserves it. He won the world. He can have it. I'll
Yeah.
take it. I don't care.
Yeah, right.
Be a difference with me driving a long car versus a short car, but I just got to get used to it.
Have you ever driven a long car before?
Yeah, I had a gray dragster before that. I ran it once in Top Dragster, but I only really ran it in Super Comp.
Gotcha.
But so I ran it in Super Comp for 1 or 2 years, and then I ran one race in Top Dragster with that car. Barely qualified. It was a slower
Yep.
car, and I believe it was at Maple Grove. And I went red first round, and I came back to the pit, and I was like, Dad, I was like, I want to run Top Dragster from now on. Like, I don't want to run Super Comp anymore. Not saying Super Comp's not great, but it's just I like bracket racing.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Don't get me wrong, if you like it, you like it. But I mean, I see my dad racing Top Dragster and like racing against people that I've watched him race against for like ever. It's
Right.
like so cool to me. Like Becky Miller, like racing her, I raced her once or twice. And like racing her after like watching my dad race her for so many years is like so like crazy to me.
Yep.
Becky Miller, Genovese, all of them. It's like full swing almost. Like I remember being little watching them race each other. And
Right, right. That's pretty cool.
but yeah, I just kind of like being in the same class as my dad. And it's nice sometimes we'll end up in the final together, but it hasn't happened this year, last year, but we'll try next year.
You guys still got a lot of years of racing to make that happen. That's
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
sure. Awesome. So you making the move to your dad's car now. Drivetrain wise, is it all your dad's drivetrain or did you take yours out of the shorty? What did you do?
Well, he basically taught me how to race.
Yep.
So most of everything comes from him. I don't really, he kind of is like my brain, and then he like pushes it in my brain, and then I just need to like execute it.
Execute, yep.
So he gives me knowledge in my brain. I just sometimes have a hard time executing the knowledge that he gives me.
Right. Don't we
He's-
all?
He's the brains behind the whole Mussolino thing. Him and Scotty. Scotty's killer at dialing the car, and my dad is killer at teaching me how to drive.
Yep.
Whether I drive it or not, he teaches me how to.
Right. Very cool. What would you consider your home track?
My home track is Esta. I mean, it's about 5 minutes down the road. I've driven the golf cart to Esta before. So, I mean, it's pop right on the main road, the Route 31, then pop right over and it's right there.
Sure.
So I would consider that my main track, yeah.
Yep. And how many years have you been going to Lebanon Valley regularly? How many years have you been going?
Lebanon Valley was actually where I ran my first race in a junior. I tested there for the very first time when I was 8. And then I've been going there ever since I was 8. So go there some years more than others. I mean, now that the 10Ks are there, it's always nice to go back there. It's a really nice facility. I love the track.
Yeah. So that brings us to GINI, who just exited stage right. We'll save that for when she gets. GINI, are you back? You're
Yes,
so
I'm
I
back.
was actually setting up to bring you in, which worked flawlessly, as you can tell.
Not at all.
So you've been watching this young lady race for how many years?
Since she was 8.
Wow. Awesome.
She thinks it's bad watching us, not me in particular, but those of us who were racing at her father when she was little. Imagine us watching her grow.
That's awesome. So that's got to be pretty cool from your standpoint. Like I used to race up at Lebanon Valley religiously every weekend, even before you were there, like way when I was in my 20s. And like I remember that the first family that comes to mind would be the Nichols. And I remember when those kids were born. And then, you go do your own thing, you take a couple years off, you do the Division I thing, whatever, and then you come back. And the next thing you know, you come back and these are like full-blown supermodel children that are kicking your ass all over the track. And it's to see it full circle, besides the fact that I hate losing to them. It's amazing to see, like, you remember these kids being born and now they're racing, and it's very full circle, and it's actually really cool to watch. I assume you have that same feeling when you're doing stuff like this.
For me, it's pretty awesome when of course I've seen One of the ones that I know for sure that I've seen since she was a baby, Casey Diamond, and I watched her grow up until now. She's occasionally I see her getting Dad's Pete's car, and
Yep.
not very often, but occasionally she gets in that S10. But she licensed in it at least, so we'd like to see that. But she, she's so busy with everything that she's doing. But to see them, to watch them grow, to watch them focus, I mean, that's a huge deal.
Yep.
And best friends, they're all best friends until they get on that starting line.
Yeah.
So I get to see them when they're good.
Yep.
And then after hours when they're not so good. So, yeah, I love them all.
Yeah, I mean, it's something as stupid as you remember when they were born, then you see them like at night hanging out by a fire drinking a beer. And it's
Right.
like, wait a minute. You can't drink a beer. You're only 8, and in reality, they're 28. It's like, my God, it goes by quick. It definitely goes quick.
Well, even with my Josh, watching him go from juniors and then, sitting around and next thing I know, he's got a beer and I go, wait, how did that happen?
I know. You're not supposed to be in a big car. Oh, wait, I guess you are. Unreal. So, what are your racing plans for this year? What do you have going on?
For me? Oh, for her.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, obviously the top dragster races in Division 1. I know I am missing one. I'll be on vacation, unfortunately. But hitting as many of those as I can. I mean, it is my dream to win a divisional championship. I don't know if I may be able to this year, but I mean, it's obviously my dream to hit a divisional championship just once. Well, hopefully more than once, but
Yeah, right.
Once
a year would be great.
I would like to do that before I die. So
Yeah.
Obviously doing that would be awesome. Obviously the 10Ks, couple races here and there. I mean, obviously just the more seat time you get, the better you get.
Yep.
So obviously just trying to get in it as much as I can. I am going to start my senior year of college and I start student teaching. So towards the end of the year, I'm going to be pretty like locked into school. So it's going to be harder at the end of the year.
Sure.
September time hits, but I'm hoping that maybe I win all the races this year and I have championship.
Yeah, well, if you win the first 5, then you really don't have much.
Yeah, I don't even have to go to the last couple. So, I mean, obviously that would be ideal, but
take the easy route, then you don't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I have definitely those on my list. All of the Division 1 top dragster races. I love those.
Yep.
10Ks. I'm trying to think of what I normally.
Whatever else you could sprinkle in between, right?
Yeah, just like I said, get as much seat time as possible. It's an
Awesome.
ideal situation.
Now, is Lebanon Valley having top dragster and top sportsmen are at all the divisionals? Am I right in saying that?
Yes, all divisionals, not all
Okay.
national events.
So then you'll be at the Valley this year for the divisional.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Good.
Absolutely. I love that it's on 4th of July weekend. I think that it's always
Yep.
I have a lot of friends there, so I always get to hang out with them for 4th of July weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully maybe Night of Fire. Last year I didn't qualify, but I ended up jumping into Super Pro and won a couple rounds there, and then it got a little too dark and I was having a hard time seeing.
Yep.
It's dark down there.
It did get dark very fast.
Yeah, it does.
Faster than I imagined.
Excellent. So, what do you have for sponsors besides Dad, obviously? Who do you want to mention and promote?
Yeah, ADP, Mickey Thompson, Design Joint, like I said, Race Tech, obviously. Man, so bad with these. My dad normally helps me with these ones.
Yeah. We tend to put you on the spot sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, any sponsors are welcome. I'll accept any, and I'll remember those ones. But,
Yeah, right.
Oh man, I'm trying to look on the car. Man, I'm drawing a blank here.
All
So
right,
many.
well,
Oh, Ken Moses Transmissions. Got him.
Excellent. Okay.
Got him. But yeah, I mean, everyone that helps me out, I really appreciate it all.
Awesome. Good stuff. So get us through a very abbreviated weekend of you and your dad racing together.
Oh man. All right. Let's see here. Wake up, unload the cars.
Yep.
Has to be a team thing or else my dad gets mad.
Uh-huh.
Wipe down the cars even though we just cleaned them before we put them in the trailer. You got to clean them when
Perfect.
they come out of the trailer.
Yep.
I have to do mine and his, not just mine. Let's see. I go up, race. Normally one of us gets mad at the other. Have
Excellent.
that whole thing. Clean the cars again. Basically, we cleaned the cars about 5 times that whole weekend. Clean them to put them back in the trailer. And the week leading up to the race, cars have to be cleaned, tires have to be off the car and cleaned and flipped. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
He's a brave driver, huh?
if we don't, if me and my little brother are learning, well, I've already learned, but if we don't clean the cars, they don't go in the trailer. My dad says we don't bring dirty stuff to the racetrack.
I love it. That's
Even though it's
awesome.
gonna get dirty there, but he says I say, well, it's gonna get dirty anyways in between rounds, and he goes, well, you're showering and you're gonna get dirty again. Why are you gonna
Oh
shower?
my God, that is hysterical because I say that all the time.
Oh yeah, I guess so. That's my dad's like go-to is
You get
you're gonna
dirty every
shower
day, but you
again.
still shower, don't you?
Yep, that's his go-to. He
That's so
loves that
funny.
line every time. He loves that line. He uses it anytime he
Oh,
can.
that is fantastic.
But yeah, weekend mostly consists of like I love spending time with my family. I mean, it's something that we all do together. Now my little brother is starting in it, and I just love seeing him start in it. And hopefully he'll get his round win here soon. I'm super excited for him.
Awesome.
He loves it. He loves it. He loves the little door slammers. Um, yeah,
How
so
old is he?
he is just turned 8 this November.
Excellent.
So, um,
Do you have any juniors left over from when you did it, or long gone and getting
no,
to
long
work?
gone. My very first one, I believe she crashed the first, not crashed bad, she just hit a fence, but
Yeah.
uh first week or so having it. And then my second one is down in Tennessee, still racing. I still see
Oh, very cool.
her on Facebook posting. So,
Excellent.
yep.
Dynamite. So you've raced top dragster with your dad before.
Yes.
Is it chaos when you two race the same class, or is it easier when you're in different classes?
So I mean, when we were in different classes, it was obviously much easier.
Right.
But I mean, I go up first and he goes up very last. He'll park his car in the back of the staging
Oh,
lanes and
okay.
come up and watch me.
Yep.
But we try to do it so that we're separated because my dad likes to
Sure.
watch me go down the track just because I am going so fast.
Yep.
So I go first, he goes last. I'm also like a test dummy for him, see if the track's running fast or slow.
Sure.
So I mean, the only thing I do think it is a little bit of stressful for is like our crew chief Scotty, who comes with us all over. So he's like running back and forth to different cars
Right.
but obviously I have such a big support system at the track that I'm never worried about like not feeling supported or anything. So obviously when we try to separate ourselves for as long as we can until we like basically can't anymore.
Sure.
I think that's only ever happened a couple times where we haven't been able to, well, at least he hasn't been able to come up and watch, but
Right.
yeah, so we just try and separate ourselves. It's not too stressful. I mean, the only thing is I try to run to watch my dad when I get back from going, and sometimes if there's short car count, you'll see me running through the pits trying to make it to the side of the track to go watch him.
Yeah.
Because he likes to watch me and I like to watch him just to make sure he's fine. Obviously, there's nothing really I could do if something were to happen, but I mean, it's always nice to just be able to watch him.
When your brother turns 16, you throw him in the driver's seat, make him get the car back,
Yeah.
and then you just have a scooter up there waiting for you,
Oh,
right?
I'm sure my dad will get him into it as soon as he can because he got me out of that junior as soon as he could.
Is that right?
I turned 16 and he was like, "You're done. Like you're out of here. Let's go."
I got to tell you, juniors, in my opinion, are one of the best things for the sport.
Oh, for
as
sure.
far as getting kids involved in young blood.
For sure.
But there is always a sigh of relief when a parent is done with a junior dragster.
I just know my dad was so relieved
Because they are
he
such a pain in the ass.
He knew in a couple of years that he had to get another one and go right back into it. So
Yep.
I know he wanted to get me out as soon as he could to give himself a little bit more gap. But yeah, no, I mean juniors were probably like it was such like a crucial like moment and like my racing career. I met like
Oh,
I
yeah.
met so many people. I learned so many things. Like most of the stuff that I know is from my dad teaching me in juniors, and I just try to carry it over into
It's getting to the point now where junior dragsters have been out long enough and popular that all you have to do is start looking through the names of, the pros and the repetitive winners and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to see where the majority of them comes from. And that's not by coincidence or luck. I mean, they're getting groomed,
yeah,
and it's very beneficial to racing if you start at such an early age.
for sure. And some of the racers out there nowadays are like killer. Like I
Yeah.
obviously aged out with, Iaconos, Northrups. They're all killer racers now.
Yep.
And now you
Yep.
look back at what's there. You got Stallbuzz, you got, what's her name? Torsia's. They're all ready to come out and come get you. I mean, Paul's already ready. He's already out with you. I'm just hoping he never gets into a top dragster car.
It's
So
a sea of friggin' sharks out there. That's how
yeah,
I feel about Super Street.
yeah.
You're in a junior dragster, you need to stay in a dragster. Go.
David, no, go over to your side. Go over to yours.
Doors suck.
Yeah, no, you guys got it.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you have going on for college. You're starting your senior year.
It's junior year. I'm in the middle of my junior
Oh,
year.
sorry,
right now.
junior year.
No, you're fine. I'm starting my junior or in the middle of my junior year right now. I am an education and special education major. Right now I'm in 2 classrooms, 2 days a week, just basically helping, pushing in.
Yep.
I'm on the basketball team. Oh man, what else? I'm a tutor here. I do sports information, so I PA the basketball games and the soccer games. And
Excellent.
then I also work in the registrar. So
Nice.
I dip into a little bit of everything here. So
Yep. And
but
your
yeah,
major, I mean, what you want to be a sped teacher? Is that your deal?
that or just a regular general education teacher. I
Excellent.
prefer elementary. I've been more leaning towards first, second, and third graders, but I'm open to anything, any job I get. I'm not going to push away any job. Money is
Awesome.
money. So
Good stuff.
yeah.
So you got you're halfway through your junior year.
Yep.
So
I
in
got-
September, that's where I was thrown off, because in September of
Yeah.
25, you start your senior year.
Yes, I start my senior
Excellent.
year, and that's where I start student teaching. And just about
And
after my student teaching, I'm about done.
will that be for your associates, bachelors?
That'll be for my bachelor's, and
Yep.
then I have to go to school to get my master's.
Your masters, right?
But I have
Right.
7 years. The way New York State does it, I have 7 years to get my master's degree, and then I have to have 5 years of teaching experience, and then I'm certified
You're
fully.
good to go.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we know that you have to go tutor, so we will let you run, but best of luck to school.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck to racing. And I'm sure we'll be bumping into each other in separate classes
Hopefully.
this year.
All right. Have a good one, you guys.
Thank you for coming on and starting 2025 with us. We
Of
appreciate you.
course. Thank you. Have a good one.
Tell Dad we
All right,
said
take
hi.
care, Natalie. Good to talk to
will.
you.
Thank you.
And that leaves us with GINI.
The boss,
How
See
are
the
you?
what-
real boss of Lebanon Valley Dragway.
That's right.
No, don't get me in trouble. Yeah, you see why I love Natalie. She's just a sweetheart.
She's
Good.
awesome. She is
Yeah.
awesome.
Awesome.
So I have a quick GINI story to tell before we start getting you involved.
You didn't tell me you're going to tell stories.
It's not a bad story.
Okay.
So I was
Secret, no bro kisses to everyone, you know.
so I was spectating a race, and I think it was a Saturday, Sunday gig. I'm not sure, but I was spectating because I had gone out earlier, and the person who won came down the return road, drove across the front of the staging lanes, and went over to the winner's circle, and GINI was not happy about it. And it was obviously because of a safety concern, right? Because the driver was excited, he just won, and he came cutting through, and he's probably going a little faster than he should. And if Jeannie's pulling a car out as he's pulling through, it could get ugly.
That's exactly it. You know, we will wave people through.
Right,
You know,
right.
not in the middle of a race. If it's
Yep.
test routine, I'll stop everybody. I'll let them go to the winner's circle. But if we're in the middle of a race and I'm pulling cars, oh my goodness.
Right,
It-
right.
And, you know, the car in front, the car that I'm pulling doesn't see him because he's coming from the side and
Yep.
we don't expect him there. And I don't see him until the very last minute. And now we haven't, thank God we haven't, but we could have a mess out there.
Sure, absolutely. So I don't remember if it was the next day or the next week. I'm not sure what it was, but I was fortunate enough to win a super street race there. And I'm driving down the return road. I don't even look in her direction. I drove all the way around the pits, came through the back of the staging lanes, parked in the winner's circle, and she came up to me and she goes, "What the hell did you drive all the way around for?" I said, "Jeannie, I saw what happened last week and I wanted no part of that. I would have melted my shit to the ground before I attempted to drive through the front of the staging lanes." And that is like one of my favorite Jeannie stories. I love it.
So many.
I had to share. But obviously you're going to be back for 2025.
I'm planning on it. Yep. We start 2 weeks. We go to Division I banquet, and I'll be with Wayne and the gang, whoever shows up there that weekend, and then we'll do our banquet, and then we start on the 21st, which is what, 89 days, something like that.
It's
Who's
close.
counting?
It's coming.
It's
I'm
there.
looking at my car and I'm taking it further and further apart, thinking that I got all this time. And the next thing you know, I'm going to blink my eyes and be like, "Oh, here we go with a friggin' thrash to get it ready," you know?
You're not the only one.
Yeah, no, that's the common racing theme, isn't it? Yeah.
That's called the racer.
Just once, I want to be totally done by like the end of February and just like sit there and wax it for 2 months before we have to go race.
Well, that's if you're only going to do maintenance and you're not going to do any upgrades and you're not going to have to order any parts whatsoever. Because let's face it, some of it is what you have to get in the mail.
I have no idea what that's even like. And it's mostly self-inflicted, but whatever. I'll do it over and over again.
Just can't leave things well enough alone.
Yeah, exactly. So what improvements could you tell us about Lebanon Valley? What's going on there this year?
I don't know. Like I said, the first time I'll talk to Wayne will be in 2 weeks. So I don't know if we have anything new or if we didn't have anything new going on. But I'll get that scoop. If you haven't seen it posted, it's not happening yet.
Gotcha. So the good news is the schedule is out. And the schedule looks awesome. I like the ET Summit Series races, the Super Street races. They have top dragster sportsman combo races, I believe they are. Gamblers races, track rentals. It's a very full, ambitious schedule, which is awesome to see.
Extremely full, very ambitious. There's a couple of imports thrown in there.
Yep.
You know, we
The
are
usual Dover race, the usual Duzen. Am I right in saying it's not the triples this year? It's going to be the twins.
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah, so two 10Ks with a
2 tons.
session gamblers race and high rollers on Friday.
That's what I understand.
Yeah, and then a 10K on Saturday and 10K on Sunday.
Yes. Yeah. I love that race. That's a great race.
Oh, it's great. It's so much fun. I went up there last year, ran that race. I had probably the worst running car I've had in my career. I did the most work on my car that I've ever done at a track. I don't think I won a single friggin' round all weekend and still had a great time because it's such a good race. So
Last year? I thought you won last year for us. Oh no, that was the other race. Didn't you work?
no, that was the Dover race. I won the electronics on Saturday.
No, didn't you work the top back of staging for one of the races? I thought it was a
Back
10.
to staging was for the no time race, Scotty's race.
Oh, that's right. And
Yeah.
we've got that coming again next year.
Got
I
that
can't.
coming up next year too.
That
And
was a great race.
that's going to be a little bit of a conflict because I've been dying to race that race since it started and never had a category that my car would fit into. And this year he's doing box, no box. So it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to work the back of the lanes and keep my car parked very close by. And then when they call me, someone's going to have to take my place for a half an hour or so while I attempt to run the race. But I'm looking forward to it.
Kevin might be coming back. Kevin can like handle half an hour, I think.
Exactly. So yeah, it's good. We're looking forward to it. I know my son can't wait to start. He's doing improvements to his car. Same with me and same for the other 5 bazillion races that go to Lebanon Valley. So we're looking forward to it.
We're ready. Let's go.
Yeah, right. Hopefully we'll get some good weather this year.
Oh, we had excellent weather last year, except unless it was a Sunday.
It's crazy. We actually got lucky. I want to say like the last third of the year. We seemed to get by pretty good. But the first half of the year was like every other friggin' Sunday it seemed to rain.
Yeah.
It seemed like after the original date for the Dusan, because it was obviously it rained out because that weekend went bananas. But it seemed like after that, Mother Nature just cooperated and the year wrapped up really good.
Again, and we've preached it 100 times. You don't want to see these tracks that when you have tracks closing on you left and right, the last thing you want to see is loss of income due to weather or stuff that's out of your control, because we know that every ounce of revenue that a track makes is vital. And there's just things you can't control, like Mother Nature. So you hope that she decides to play nice so that you can make as much as you can.
Well, we've had actually for the last 2 years, divisional has been absolutely perfect weather. And then Night of Fire has always been good weather.
Right.
And so, but when we start getting in October, I have loads of clothes in the car because I don't know what to put on.
You don't, yeah, right. Yeah, you could have summer or you could have winter, and it could change from day to day.
And it can change from hour to hour.
And as someone who's been to a lot of divisionals, the fact that it's gone so good the last 2 years, I remember the very first year of the divisional there, and it seemed like since the start of that race was cursed. If you were going to have a terrible weather weekend, it would be the weekend of the divisional. And
Saturday.
The craziest lightning strikes taking out scoreboards and winds and canopies, and oh my God, it was never ending with that race. And then it seemed like they kicked the curse the last couple of years, and it's been pretty damn good. So
now that we're back in July, I think that's helped too.
Big help, right.
A few years when we were in middle June, end of June, that wasn't so good. But now we're back on our 4th of July weekend, and it's a big race. People are come, and it's a good race. So yeah, we've had some good stuff.
Done good. Let's keep that trend going, right?
I hope so. I got to get my tan on.
Exactly. Yeah, me too. I gotta dull the shine down a little bit, right?
Well, I like it when you sit at the top of staging, but I don't like it because you're not racing.
I gotta tell you, it's like, really enjoying a drink and going to the bar and not drinking is it's tough. I exercise my patience, but it's not easy.
I know. I quit drinking, so I know exactly what you're saying.
There you go. Yeah. Good stuff. So, Christopher, what races do you think you will be able to attend this year?
Right. Well, my original plan was to try and hit everything between Lebanon Valley, New England. Gonna try to go to Winterport. Um, it just depends on the next couple of months.
Yep.
My plans may change entirely. I went last year and I had a blast. I went to Lebanon Valley for the Night of Fire, and that was the weekend before the divisional, and I really enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun at that race. So that was one that I wanted to hit, and then obviously the divisional and probably the national at Epping. Um, and like I said, there's a big race that we've all been invited to up in Maine at Winterport that I'm hoping to go to. Like I said, for me, it just depends on if I get cleared to drive.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, we'll keep our fingers
Um,
crossed for you.
I was hoping last year to be able to travel a little bit more and get out because I like to take the train. So I was going to go to Philly and rent a car and go to Maple Grove, but that didn't pan out. And so I gotta kind of take this year as a see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some hot seat subjects with what we've been seeing going on in the racing world. GINI, I know that you are very religious. So I have to run this question by you because I'm curious as to what your stance is on someone that is religious. Have you heard about the top alcohol dragster driver and the OnlyFans situation?
I have. She, she's trying to step up, and they're kind of getting her out of that. But yeah, yep.
How do you feel about the situation?
I think I summed it up when I said, it just kind of proves how little they pay attention to sportsmen racers. I mean, if it was a problem, it should have been a problem from the beginning.
2 years ago, right?
2 years ago, the very first time she was on the racetrack, it should have been a problem.
Everybody.
Maybe she lacked communication on her part by telling them, hey, by the way, I'm moving up next year and the sponsor's staying with me.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, I can only speculate. But for them to say what they did, I think is wrong. I think that I've heard it and I read it and I've seen it a lot that, they pick and choose.
Right.
And I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. When Josh was racing, we had problems and some of it came from the tower.
Yep.
So, and it wasn't the tracks. So I don't mean it that way, but there's just some things that went on that if it was someone else, it wouldn't have been that way. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I have a hard time with NHRA not being consistent. If it's good for the goose, should be good for the gander. So if she was racing for 2 solid years,
Right.
and she performed really well.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like she was a nobody. She was out there and people knew who she was. They said she's got. I don't go to OnlyFans. I don't even know. I had no idea what it was, except that I knew that it wasn't something I was going to do.
Yeah. Right.
But
it's I've literally, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on the spot, but I obviously know what it is, but I genuinely have never even logged onto it. I don't know how in depth it is, or if there's like TikTok, you could see people being what we would consider inappropriate. You could also see people doing their hair, getting their nails done, cooking, race car
Learning how to
stuff.
change your
What I mean?
spark
You can
plugs.
see all that stuff on TikTok. I don't know if
Yeah.
OnlyFans has any of that or if it's just
well,
yes.
it has a video on there, and it's an exercise video. So I guess that there is some exercise stuff going on.
Sure.
But it doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
I use the example that, they kicked off Marlboro and any kind of tobacco products, but Skoal's there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
My opinion on it, and it's just that it's an opinion, but
Mine too.
if they let her race with it for 2 years and then deemed it inappropriate, either they should have said to her, listen, we're going to give you 1 more year because you've already done it for 2, but in 2026, you're going to have to find a new sponsor. Or at some time in 2024, at the very least, they should have said to her, we're going to let you finish out this year, but you got to come up with something for 2025.
Exactly.
A month before her season is ready to kick off, and they hit her with that bombshell, to me is just completely inappropriate, unless there's something going on that we don't know about that they're not sharing. But from
Exactly.
what we know so far, that's how I feel about it.
Right.
And like I said, it wasn't until she stepped up.
Right.
So now if she wants to do fuel, now all of a sudden it's a problem. So I wonder if she would have stayed in, was she topless comp or super? Was she running?
Top dragster and
Top
top
dragster.
alcohol dragster.
She stayed in the top dragster. Would she still be okay, or
Right.
was it because she made the move up? And it's hard. It's hard when you're a nobody to get into with somebody's.
Right. Right. And again, they also could have said to her, if the sponsor was kind of like on the borderline and they were okay with it in the sportsman ranks, again, someone could have approached her and said, listen, we'll let it fly in the sportsman ranks, but if you're going to get to the point where your career is going to advance you to TV time, this isn't the image we want.
Right.
I think
Oh,
there's
my
so
goodness,
many
yeah.
better ways that it could have been handled than the way they did.
Yeah.
I've-
And, to give her credit, she doesn't have graphics on the car. She
Right.
just has
Just
has
the lettering. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you can choose, and, I would hope that you have parameters in place on your home computers that if you don't want your children to get onto that website, then they can't. But, and that should be up to us. But, if she had graphics on the car, now there are some cars out there that have some really, really, really good graphics.
Listen, I might be naive, but kids know way more about this stuff than us 3 combined ever will. I don't think there's a kid in the world that's going to see OnlyFans on the side of her car and say, for the first time, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to go check it out. Not a friggin' one. They already know about it. They know more than we do. I
And let's
just.
think his dad knows about it.
So I don't know. It's the bottom line is they made the call. There ain't a damn thing our opinions are going to change it. But
No,
Right.
but
And this,
it's been like this since forever. I don't think it's ever going to change. I mean, you're really going to have to get somebody in there who is empathetic and sympathetic and really gets the racers, and we haven't had that.
I agree.
don't.
right, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe she had a 3-year deal. And 2025 was year number 3.
Yeah.
That
So,
could be.
um,
And when the sponsors
I-
step up, it's hard to say no. So they're saying, hey, we're going to give you more if you step up and get us coverage on TV. Of course, that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Right.
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 and then the flip side of the coin too is, oh my God, the thought just fell out of my head again.
I mean, like I said, I don't have an issue with NHRA not wanting airtime with that name on the side of the car. If
No.
that's the path they choose to beat the drum on, God bless them, let them do it. But it's just the way they go about it. I mean, it's terrible.
The other side of the coin is too, and it's been proven many times in the past, we'll never hear more than likely won't hear their side of the story of why they made that decision.
Absolutely correct. Yep. Yep.
You know,
Absolutely. We won't. It's their
They
way
won't.
of the highway, and we said it, and we don't really
But
have to justify it. So,
it's not
Right.
just us that'll never know. She's not gonna know either.
yeah, which is the worst part, right?
right.
Right.
She probably got a basic letter that said, sorry, you can't have this anymore. Sincerely, NHRA, have a great day.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's
Right.
too bad.
It is too
So,
bad. It really is. 'Cause you work
While staying on the
so
concept of,
hard to get. Sponsors are so hard to get.
oh,
If
without
you
a doubt, I know.
get one, you want to hold on to it forever.
You know, and everybody has said that alcohol is getting more and more expensive to run.
Yeah.
Hence
Well,
why, like, the funny card
everything's
side of
getting-
things I mean, everything's getting more expensive to
Yeah, right.
run. But, you know, the one question you hear about at all the divisionals we use obviously up here because this is what we're all familiar with. How come there was only 3 cars? You know, how come there was only 4 cars at that track? Why was there
Right.
6 cars here when it should be, you know, a full field is other divisional, I think it's what, 8? You know, it's not a cheap investment.
No,
No.
it definitely is that.
Well, how many funny cars? I mean, we had one funny car, 2 funny cars. One that never showed up at the starting line.
Right.
So, you know, and that's been it's been down every year. It's not
Yeah.
like all of a sudden this year we only had one. We had 3 the year before. We had 4 the year before that. So it's
Right.
it is declining. It is coming down. I don't think the fuel's coming down as far as top fuel and funny cars are
Right.
coming. They're going to stay there and they're going to keep racing, but they've got big sponsor money. And these little guys, it's really, really difficult to find sponsor money.
Yeah.
Right. And you have a huge gap in how they're treated.
Oh, yeah.
Ginormous gap. You know,
Oh, yeah.
the fuel side of the drag racing universe, you know, that's the cream of the crop. That's the top
Right.
of the ladder. You know.
Well, I'll go back years ago with Bob Newberry and sitting just before we got to the starting line. We were the next pair in line, the next class, next category in line.
Yeah.
And they brought top fuel in front of us. Wait, what? We've been sitting here, you know, the first 2 days in Indy,
Right.
nothing. We didn't even get on down the track.
Yeah.
So when, you know, we finally got our chance and we've been knocked and knocked and knocked, this was probably about the 5th time. And it's typical. It happens. Sportsmen, I feel really bad for our sportsmen racers that they can go and not race until Sunday, and it's just not
had the year that I runnered up at the Englishtown National event. I got to see if I get this right. I feel like time trial started on. Could they have started on Wednesday? Did they start that early?
Yep.
It was either Wednesday. I want to say I
For
made.
it's starting sportsmen on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I want to say I did like a couple of time trials on Wednesday, and then maybe first round on Thursday, or
Mhm.
another time trial on Thursday. I didn't see the track again until Monday morning. And the
Ooh.
pros finished on time. It was dicey. They had weather, they had all that stuff. But what really sucked was it's the only time I was in a final round at a national event, didn't even make the TV coverage because when the pros left, the TV crews left with them. So it was like the one time, even though I lost, it would have been nice to have seen the car on TV during the show, you know. But
You sure it's Englishtown, not Maple Grove?
no, definitely Englishtown. Yeah, I know, right? It was. I want to say, was it '07? I'd have to go look to see what year it was. It was a while ago, but yeah, it was the year that Jim Schreiner won in the Beretta. He's the one who beat. But yeah, it was at a national event.
Hmm.
I kind of get it.
Yep.
A lot of people feel like they're really insulted when they're pushed to the side. At a national event, I get it. I mean, the stands fill up. They're not filling up to watch my throttle stop car, right? That's when they go to the bathroom. It's nothing that I'll ever be offended over. If I didn't know a whole hell of a lot about cars, or even knowing what I do know about cars, I would pick 12,000 horsepower over 1,200 any day of the week, right? They want to see what shakes the ground. They want to see the tire smoke. They want to see the 300-mile-an-hour passes. I get it. So if I'm going to be put on the back burner, I get it. But when you comes to the divisionals, I feel as though they could work harder to make us feel more welcome at the divisionals.
Right. Right.
That being said, you have at any given race, you have anywhere from 300 to 600 people competing. You're not keeping 100% satisfaction. It's physically impossible. It's not going to happen. And the
Right.
10 people that might be pissed off for whatever reason are the ones that are going to make the most noise. So
And they're gonna be pissed off anyway.
exactly. And because you've seen behind the scenes at a very crowded, busy race. So it's tough. I mean, I don't envy what NHRA goes through. And when Chris posted that OnlyFans gig, and I commented that I always defend NHRA, but it's getting harder and harder to do it. I will defend NHRA with my last breath when it comes to the sportsman racing and all that stuff. But when they do something like they did to her with no real explanation, after she's already been doing it for 2 years, a month away from the start of the season, unless they come out and they could justify it, how do you still stick up for NHRA? It makes it impossible.
Agree.
But, and to move on to all things that we're not happy about NHRA, how about the news today about Alan Reinhart?
I didn't hear it. If it was today, I was working.
There's
me,
something to the effect of they're not renewing his contract or whatever. He won't be announcing this year.
He's the smartest guy next to Glenn Fry. Who are they going to put there?
Right? Glenn Fry, at least he retired.
Yeah,
Right.
he got to retire.
Lewis Bloom, to me, was the
Top
mad
notch.
scientist of drag racing, as far as not scientist, but as far as knowledge. I mean,
Well,
he was an encyclopedia of drag racing.
And he knew the mechanics, and
Right.
so you got a lot more than you could properly process. He was absolutely wonderful. But those three,
All right. Oh, sorry.
that's okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. All right. So this is directly from Alan Reinhart on his Twitter. I am no longer affiliated with the NHRA. The last 30 plus years have been a hell of an adventure, but all good things must come to an end, and I have reached the end. No bad, excuse me, no bad feelings on my part. Just time for a change. What's next? Stay tuned. That's
I
how we
mean,
ended it.
for him to have done what he's done with this sport and with NHRA, anything short of letting him retire on his own terms and having the biggest farewell bash that you could possibly have honoring him is a travesty. I mean, the guy is just incredible. It's heartbreaking that, I mean, one of my dreams was to win a race that he's announcing, so that when someone's videotaping, I could hear him calling out my name, going down the track and winning a race. I mean, he's fantastic.
And then the thing with especially the three guys that we've talked about, those three guys, if you're in the pits and they happen to be walking by and you say hi to them, they will stop and talk to you.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
They're interested in your car. They want to know, especially if you're going rounds, and they will get to know you a little bit better and share some of your stories, and they go the extra mile. They're not just reading off a paper. They know who you are, and that matters.
So it's funny that you say that, because another one of my stories is I was racing the national event in Epping. It was like the second or third year that they had it up there, and very first time trial at 1,000 foot, my motor let go, and there was no saving it for the rest of the race. And Alan happened to be walking around the pits, and he walked over and he goes, "What happened to you? I saw your car shut off." And I had the intake off and it looked like a marble sandwich in there. And he looked at it, he goes, "Wow, that's bad." And I looked at him and I said, "Listen, I'm miserable. Could you do me one favor?" He goes, "Yeah, whatever you need." I said, "Could you just say it one time?" He goes, "Say what?" I said, "Like you're calling me to the lanes." He goes, "Attention in the pitch, attention in the pitch." I said, "Okay, thank you. I'm good now." But I mean, I literally never met the man before in my life. He knew me because of the car. He recognized the car or whatever, but never shook his hand before, never met him before. And that's the kind of person he is. And a lot of people involved with NHRA are like that. And to see someone like that no longer with the organization is heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. I don't even know what to say.
I know. It's too bad. Mike Dunn, getting rid of Mike Dunn broke my heart because I thought he was great.
Very good.
And then, like I said, Fry retired, so at least you could say he retired, and that was good. He went out on his own terms. But Lewis Bloom, and then this, to me, is just terrible.
Yeah, I agree. No, they and they were just so personable. It's you did something the year before, they remembered.
Yeah, it's incredible, right? And not only am I envious of the personality of the people skills, but from someone who can't remember what they ate for lunch, the stuff that they remember and retain and bring up a year or two later is just like so impressive.
Yeah. And like I said, they've got a script. Of course, they've got a script, and they know they can read off a script, but a lot of that's not written there.
Oh yeah, no, I believe that. I believe it. Yeah.
All up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
And that's with any announcer, even your track announcers, like Billy down in Maple Grove. He's fantastic. Billy's
the bomb. Yeah.
And then Mike at our track and Wild Bill, both of them.
Bill, he's great too. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. They just have memories that don't. And now, who's our photographer? He's doing announcing also now. Zach.
Yes.
Zach is really good, but it's really sad that I'm just sad for Alan. I'm really sad because he loved what he did. He really loved what he did.
Without a doubt. That's for sure.
And he started the donut thing, right?
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
I believe he did.
You get what is it, Trip Zip, and you get a package of donuts or something?
Yeah, get like a 4-pack of the little powdered donuts.
You'd think that would give me incentive, but I still can't get it. Maybe this year, who knows?
Yep.
When they go from the powdered ones to the chocolate covered ones, that's what I'm really going to try.
The yellow chocolate covered donuts. Yeah.
Chocolate covered this year. Just a little something. They had chocolate covered ones last year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
See, if I knew that, I would have tried harder. Damn it.
Gosh.
Well, listen, I don't want to start off 2025 complaining.
No, I didn't think you here.
In general, we're excited for the season. It's going to be a great season. Hopefully this little NHRA bump in the road is just that. And we're going to have a killer year. I know at Lebanon Valley we're going to have a killer year no matter what, so it doesn't matter.
You look
Yeah,
over at
definitely.
IH, they've got their problems too. So,
Yeah.
I think, I think we're just at a time where it's hard for well, as of yesterday, that all changed. So let's look forward to something brand new and wonderful.
Right. So I heard with the IHRA deal, because I've kind of been paying a little bit of attention to it, that I got to see if I could get this right. Larry Jeffers owned it, and Larry had Ken running it. And when the group that bought IHRA bought it, their intention from jump was to can him. But they didn't want to do it all at once. So they said, all right, let's announce that we own it first, that big things are going to happen, and then we're going to start putting our people in place. So from what I'm hearing, anyone that was in the know about that situation knew that that was coming, and it wasn't a surprise. So
New
again,
ownership.
hopefully it goes and racers have another option.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your local track will still be running something.
Yeah, right.
So keep supporting us. Of course, we love Lebanon Valley best. So, we've got a fantastic staff and fantastic conditions now. So I think one of the top notch out there.
Yeah, I
And
got to tell you,
pretty accommodating.
there's so many people that I talk to, especially from the divisional standpoint, that used to dread going to Lebanon Valley. And that has changed so much over the last 3 to 5 years that you would have to look really hard to find someone to say something bad about the place. Whereas years before that wasn't the case. And that kind of, I never didn't go because I didn't think the track was adequate. I always just didn't go because I was into doing the divisional thing.
Yeah.
I'm over traveling, and one of the things that makes it a very easy decision for me to just go back up to Lebanon Valley on a regular basis is it's a top-notch facility. It's not even a hard decision to make. So that's, I'm grateful for that, and I hope that that's going to be an option for me for the next 30 years until I hang my helmet up. I'm really looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to staying close. I'm looking forward to you blowing me a kiss right before I go on the water box, and let's go in 2025. What's that?
We have to make the disclaimer. I don't do that for everyone.
Well, screw them. I don't care about them. All I care about
Right.
me.
And speaking from a non-competitor point of view,
Yep.
strictly myself, that way 45 minutes I have a racetrack.
Yep.
That way 3 hours I have a racetrack.
Yep.
I like going that way a lot more than I like going that way.
Yeah, and it's again, it's you don't want to take. People will associate what you just said with bad mouthing a certain track, and that's not the case. Everyone's allowed to have favorites, right? It's a fact of life. Your favorite ice cream, a favorite dinner, favorite racetrack. To me, Lebanon Valley is always been more of a grassroots, personable racetrack than any other racetrack I've went to, right? I like New Media. I love the scenery around it and the way the track is situated in the uphill. I love Maple Grove for the history that's there and all the improvements that they're doing and everything. But to me, Lebanon Valley just feels like home. It's like what do they say, a comfortable sweatshirt or whatever. It just, I like it. And the fact that you're that comfortable and the facility is that top notch, it's just a win-win for me. I can't wait for the season to start.
It's like cheers at the racetrack. Everybody knows your name.
Everybody knows your name. Whether they like it or not, they're going to know it.
I might not know you without your helmet, but I'll know your name.
That's right.
The people and the food are one of the top
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Yep. I agree with all of it. It's good. It's
Yep.
good stuff. I think that the thing that I like, and I've always said this about Lebanon Valley for the last couple of years, but the thing that I like the most is my kid just started racing there the last couple of years, and never been any favoritism toward him because I'm his father and I've been going up there for years. But the fact that they treated him right and helped him when he needed it and guided him when they needed it. Again, it's that grassroots thing, right? Where if
Yeah.
you go to a like corporate owned NHRA track or a, you know, something that's strictly business, you're not going to get that. You know, I had my kid in the water box going rounds, and I've got people that work at Lebanon Valley when I couldn't be there texting me as to how he's doing. You're not going to get that at a lot of racetracks, you know, and to me, that's worth it for me. I'm just going to go up there, one big happy family, and go racing.
You're a name, not a number.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
You know, there's no competition in the pits. I think the people, the racers themselves are extremely welcoming. They don't just ignore you because you're brand new.
Right.
They try, right or wrong, they try so much to help.
Yep.
And you park next to them and you need something, they are right there. You
Yep.
know, if something happened down track and they saw it, people come over and they say, hey, we saw you had a problem. Is there anything we can do to help you? And I think that makes it, you know, and the consistency of the people that work there. I mean, I've been there, what are we, 18 years this year? I think 18.
Wow. That's amazing.
Wayne has been 16, I think. I think
Wow.
it's 16 now. And Keith's been there almost 5 now. And, you know, and then Dee's been there since the day it opened.
Yep.
Sorry, Dee. But she's been there forever. And Jennifer at the gate, she's been there forever.
Yep.
You know, you in the office, been there forever. So we all know what we're supposed to be doing, and we're there to help, and we will help if we can.
Right.
I don't know why everybody's afraid of me because I'm a very nice person, but they know that if I have to come to their car.
I love you to death. I'm just never driving in front of you. It's just the way it's going to be.
I appreciate that. I do.
Yep.
But, you know, but that's what it is. You know, my concern is always for the racers.
Absolutely.
Always for the racers. I've been on that track 18 years, and I've never, except for one time, gotten hit.
Yep.
And because I pay attention, I know what's going on around me, and the racers pay attention to me.
Right.
So it's, you know, I just think that we have it down pat.
You got my vote.
She even pays attention to that fool that runs around on the 3-wheeled scooter.
Yeah, go figure, right? Well, Jeannie, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for kicking off 2025 with us.
I appreciate
wouldn't wanted it to start any other way. Chris, thanks for having me back again for season whatever.
5 or 6, yeah.
5, 6, 12. It feels like an eternity and 5 minutes all at once.
Yep. Whatever you do, Pete, don't bail right out on me. I need to have a word with you about something for just a moment.
On camera or off camera?
On camera, my friend.
Oh, fantastic.
All right, guys.
You can
Thank you
stick
so much
around
for
if
letting
you
me
want.
talk to you.
Jeannie, thanks again, and we'll see you in a couple of months. Enjoy the banquet and be safe.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
You got it.
All right, Jenny, thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. I'm glad you're doing better, honey.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So
Is this the point where you're going to try and justify that god awful background that you have?
No, I'm not gonna justify it at all. I like it, you don't, too bad. Who's doing this? Me. All right, so I put a post up when I first found out about this when I came out of sedation when I was at the Brigham. Reader's Digest recap. For
Yep.
those of you that don't know, um, Monday, December 2nd, sometime between 6 and 7 o'clock at night, I had a grand mal seizure, went into cardiac arrest, got med flighted to the Brigham down in Boston. They had to intubate me. They damaged my esophagus, hence why I now sound like this. I woke up 2 or 3 days later. I don't remember exactly. One of the first things, besides me talking to my wife and the nurse, that I was told was that somebody did something very special for me, and she wasn't going to tell me till I saw my phone. Um, Next day, my wife Tanya brought me my phone along with my eyeglasses and some clothes and stuff to the hospital, and she showed me what to look at. And Pete started a fundraiser for us being myself, my wife, our son. Um, and I think it was less than 24 hours, or right about 24 hours. Um, there was a fair amount of money that was donated, and he sent it to my wife, saying in the message too that he would be sending the rest of it as soon as he got it, and anything else that showed up to my wife as well. I want to say thank you not only to Pete for starting that, but for the entire racing community that donated. Even if you didn't donate, I had so many messages on my Facebook page and in my messenger and stuff from a lot of people that I knew and a fair amount of people that I didn't know. A couple of days later, Pete sent me a list of people that had made donations. I called him or messaged him, I don't remember what it was. And I'm like, I don't even know half these people. He's like, that's the great thing about all of this is that they don't know you, but they know about you through what we do together on this show, on our page. Because this isn't all just about me, it's an us thing. It's an entire team that puts this deal together. It's myself, Pete, Kit G, um, and a whole bunch of other people. My memory's a little, so please forgive me if I forgot your name. Um, it's a group effort to make RNN what it's become in such a short amount of time. 5 years isn't a long, 5 or 6 years, whatever it's been,
Yep.
isn't a long time to build up what we've managed to build up, especially over the past year or so. Somehow, with the loss of Bill Janke, our page just absolutely exploded by like literally thousands of people. It still blows me away
Yep.
7 months later. Um, but I just want to say thank you to everybody, and obviously, especially Pete, Bree, the kids. I One of his daughters made a donation, and I think I talked to his daughter over the past 5 or 6 years, maybe a grand total of like 5 minutes. And Brennan, obviously, we shared a horrible pizza together last. That was probably one of the funniest stories.
So,
He's like,
so
he said, "Some, why don't you tell it? Because I
a
remember it, but
couple,
I don't
so a
remember it."
couple of things. I mean, I say we as in RNN, but listen, I have to be completely honest. With all the stuff that I have going on, when it came to us doing fundraisers, it was Chris doing 80% of the heavy lifting. Just because it was a time thing. And when we did the fundraiser for Monroe, Will, and then we did the fundraiser for Jenke, the Jenke family and stuff like that. It was Chris doing the majority of it. The thing that made me happy about this whole ordeal was the amount of people that recognized what you've done for other families and wanting to reciprocate. And in my opinion, and obviously in your opinion too, they did. I mean, they absolutely showed up and showed out. And honestly, I mean, I'm not going to throw any final numbers out there, but when I started the idea, I was hoping to get maybe 1,500, $2,000, and we absolutely blew that out of the water. Couple of things were the very first post I put out was I wasn't sure if I should do a GoFundMe, but I didn't want to lose any of the money to the GoFundMe fees.
Right.
At the same token, I knew there were going to be people that wanted to donate that don't really know me all that well. And, sending money to a person that they don't know all that well could be a little dicey. So I figured in that aspect, maybe the GoFundMe thing would help. But at the end of the day, I got so many overwhelming messages that said, we all know you and we all trust you and we've got no issue sending money to you, that I just figured we would go that route. And that was very humbling. And I usually get humbled when I don't look at things the same way other people do. Me being sending money to someone I don't really know, I would think twice about it. But yet I've got all these people sending me money without hesitation. That was humbling. And on a personal level, I've got friends, I have automotive customers, people that besides seeing them at the shop, shaking their hand and thanking them for the business that they give me, donating. And it's like these people that you never even gone out and had a beer with are donating. Hey, if they're a friend of yours or a friend of mine, we're going to donate. And the thing that moved me the most, and I got to try and keep it together here while I say this, but without hesitation, my kids just, here's some money. And they didn't even tell me like, hey, I want to. They just, I'm going through the list and I'm getting the Venmo notification or whatever. And you're getting around the holidays and a buddy of yours is hurting and his wife is struggling because she's dealing with it with him and her own mom. And you just want something good to happen because they deserve it. And
Right.
I believe one of the posts I made was, if you ever are losing faith in humanity, do something like this and you'll get it back pretty quick. And I did. It was the amount of people that reached out, and I'm just so grateful that we were able to make that happen. It's not even a monetary thing. I'm grateful for the friendship and the reaching out. And I mean, I have a friggin' cousin in Texas that I see once every 5 years if I'm lucky. And my phone rang. And again, if he's a friend of yours, he's a friend of mine. Let's help him out. And it's the racing community. I mean, you guys are just badass, and there's no other community that I would want to be associated with. And I'm sure Chris feels the same way. So
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely.
Like I said, all I did was put up a post. You guys are all the ones that made it happen. So
They did everything. They took over and won. Yeah, it was definitely a humbling experience. And again, I want to say thank you to everyone. You guys are some of the most badass people I've ever met in my entire life.
Yep.
I may not always say the right thing, but you guys are cool. You really are.
Yeah.
Um,
And
can
again,
be a-
I just want to go off of what Chris said also. It's not a monetary thing.
no,
Anyone that, even if you didn't donate, if you reached out, if you called or texted me just to ask how he was doing, if you reached out to him, it's not all about the money, guys. It's the family and the support, and the dollar amount is minimal compared to the outreach and the
yeah,
support.
yeah,
You know, money doesn't get you through the physically and mentally hard times, right? It's all the friends and the support that does, and that means more than any dollar sign. And the whole racing community, they showed up and showed out, and it was awesome.
it was very, very cool. And again, I thank everybody that donated, everybody that called, texted, Facebooked, whatever. Um, you know, even if you didn't, but you were thinking it,
Right.
you know. I got a long way to go, but
But you
okay,
came a long way too.
I came a long way in a very short amount of time. I was down there for 9 days. And it felt like a hell of a lot longer
It
than that.
felt like 9 years, right?
Oh my God. You know, they still don't know what happened to me.
Yeah.
But you know, it was funny. Last thing, I'll leave it at this because I know you gotta get headed. But again, when they intubated me, they shoved the breathing tube into my esophagus versus my windpipe. So
Oh,
it damaged my esophagus. That's why I sound like this.
gotcha.
And my doctor was like, "Well, you know, you could go see a surgeon and see, you know, have surgery and they can fix it." I'm like, you know what? I'm all set.
Now
I don't,
let's figure out
unless
what
it's live or
caused this whole
die.
thing, and we'll go from
Yeah,
there. Yeah, right.
after everything I've just been through, unless it
Yep.
involves me living or dying, I am all right with it.
Yeah, right, right.
So, but again,
Very cool. Well, I am honored to say that we were able to start another season, my friend. Because that means
absolutely.
we're both here to do it. So that's good stuff.
Yep, and ever so quickly, we will be back. Well, at least I will be. Pete, we'll leave it at Pete as if he's available. Scott Farley, top fuel dragster racer from Connecticut's going to be joining us to talk about his 2024 season and read into what's going on for 2025 next week. So
Excellent.
thank you, Ginny. Thank you, Natalie. Pete, thank you again. Awesome that I've been looking forward to this.
Yep.
Just to have some normalcy back in my
Yep.
universe.
Yep. I'm happy to be here right by your side, Bubby.
Absolutely. All right, we will talk to everybody soon. Have a great night. Don't forget this weekend is the Rolex 24-hour race from the road course at Daytona. And yes, I did that just to annoy him.
And if anyone is going through sleep deprivation and they want to get a good nap, tune in.
All right, everybody,
Good
have a
night,
great night.
everybody.
We'll talk
Stay
to y'all
warm
soon.
out there.
Yep.
Take
All right,
care.
guys, have a great night. Talk to you next week.